I want to share a very important message, I think, which will resonate with many of you. And that has to do with how your path on the twin flame journey, your path of spiritual ascension, your path towards self empowerment is a very unique and a very, very, very individualistic path. What I mean by that is that while we gain inspiration from people, like you're listening to me, you're inspired, right? Or you talk to me in a one on one session, or in general, if you email me, or whatever it is, um, it's just, you know, something to take away a little bit from, something that, you gain some inspiration from, something which redirects you, maybe if you needed that redirection, maybe something that reaffirms to you what you already know, some guidance on the way. But your own individual soul path and your own like power and your own strength is very unique to you. It's very symbolic of you, and that is what you have to foster on this journey. Sometimes what happens is we tend to look up to other people in a way where we place them on a pedestal. Either we look up to them and we start thinking they have it all together, they have it all figured out, or in some sense, they know so much about life more than I do, or let me try to do things the way they are doing. What we tend to do here is that we lose our own natural instinct, we lose our own natural power in this. And that really, can be very disorienting. So sometimes I've seen that we can look up to people, whether on YouTube or otherwise, maybe, in our workplaces or in our friend circle. We start really thinking that they know more than us, or if not looking up to them, we start to slow ourselves down to match the pace of other people. Like this has happened, both these things have happened to me, where when I was in a disempowered state, I would look up to other people and I would think they have it figured out. Their path is the path that I should also follow. What that leads you towards is that it leads you towards ignoring your very unique divine gifts, you know so, for instance, my gifts do not lie in tarot. I would be a terrible, absolutely terrible tarot card reader. Even if I understand imagery and everything, I just have very limited interest in predicting anything, for anyone, because that has not been my initiation into spirituality. Many people get initiated into spirituality through tarot or something. My initiation into spirituality was a deep heartbreak and an experience of asking, who am I? You know? So, because it started from that place of what am I doing here on earth and what is the significance of my life? Why have I come here? And all of that. That was the standpoint from which I approached everything, right? And that is the same curiosity that um, I had to follow for my journey as well, right? And I didn't have to follow something prediction based or something based on astrology has answers, something external to me has answers, was never right for me. Like, what basically felt right to me in my heart was if I listened to somebody or I saw somebody and it just moved me intensely and I just knew this is right. In my gut, if I knew this is right, then this is what, I started to follow. This is what I started to move in the direction of. And trusting more and more, allowing just events to take place, um, trusting that something is higher than me, so is good for me. That thing which is higher than me was always coming from a place of divine, like trusting that God is higher than me, or my guru is, whatever my guru will ask is the right thing for me, and it always has turned out to be like that. And the similar thing on the twin flame journey as well, in the beginning being absolutely confused about my twin flame connection and not knowing what is this, and then asking for signs and receiving very concretized signs from the divine sources that I was connected with, that yes, this is a path for you. This is the next path for you, which I never understood. What was this path? Where is it leading me? It's just causing pain, right? So it's just basically, when I look back, I think that everything in life, it pushes back you towards you. Even when you're a child, let us say as a child, if you had some bad experiences, if you had you know experiences at home that weren't very good, now as an adult you're pushed to take responsibility for your healing and to reparent yourself, right? Similarly, maybe you were bullied, right? Or some experiences happened in your school that were not pleasant. Maybe people didn't like you, some people didn't like you, maybe somebody said something nasty to you, maybe a teacher wasn't nice to you. Many people have those experiences, right? We celebrate these things generally and we try to push a lot of things under the rug, but sometimes we have to look at the truth of our experiences. We tend to celebrate, schooling and school systems and all of that, but we don't look at the damage that conventional and these very hyper structured, school systems cause to the unique individuality of human life. They're celebrated by the matrix, they're celebrated by people, and you're forced to just be like grateful for all of that, and forced to ignore any trauma that you received from these structures that did not celebrate your uniqueness or your individuality and only celebrated some people for some qualities, thus causing very warped reinforcements and warped kind of conditioning to happen in your mind, right? So um, maybe somebody said something to you, which is something that in your heart. You can go back and you can think about the painful moments you had in school if you want to, and you can heal those painful moments if you know how to just feel your feelings. That's a very powerful way to do it and reparent yourself there. um, Simply speaking, what did that experience teach you? It just taught you that you had the strength inside of you. That really anything that anybody was saying to you about you, anybody's commentary on how you are, how you looked, or how you were as a child or as an adult, was not about you. It was about them. But it started to play a role in impacting your mind. It started to bring you down, or it may have started to make you question your own self-worth, make you question your value, make you question your authenticity, make you question your feelings, which in today's modern day world we call gaslighting. People sometimes do this, where they make you question the deep feelings or the experiences that you have in some situations. And I'm sure almost all of us have been gaslit, right? And maybe we have unintentionally gaslit other people by dismissing their experiences and their feelings as well, or minimizing their feelings, right? I know I have done that in the past, unconsciously for sure, and I have also suffered it. So basically, it's just a world that we live in, the matrix world, the societally, programmed world, the world which is coming from a survival instinct, which is coming from a place of extremes, extreme hatred, extreme like, and extreme dislike. In this path, there is always going to be judgment, and we will be suffering that judgment. We will be at the receiving end of this judgment as well. But everything that we do to break out of this judgment, when we start to go through a spiritual awakening, especially, we start breaking through judgments, whether self judgments or outside judgments, right? It basically tells us trust yourself. It tells you you are all powerful. It tells you, and your power, you listening to me right now, your power is supremely unique and completely different from somebody else's power. Sometimes we go into comparisons on this journey, We go into comparisons. Why are we comparing one journey to the other journey? Oh, one twin flame united in 1 year, one took 30 years, or one has still not united. We go into these comparisons. We want to collect these stories about different twin flame journeys, trying to assess, oh, when did it happen? That is what is going to happen to me because it happened to this person. You're giving your power away completely. You're not acknowledging your uniqueness. On the spiritual path, you can't walk with another person. Do you know that? This was something that the Buddha also said, that your spiritual path is very unique. You can't even make your husband or your wife spiritual. For many of you who are married, you will understand that you become spiritual for whatever reason. Maybe you have faith in God or you start meditating. Does that mean you can make your spouse also meditative? Absolutely not. You can't, as much as you want to do everything with your spouse, you can't make them spiritual. You can't make them walk the spiritual path. They may come with you for a course, they may come with you for a workshop, they may learn a meditation you're interested in learning, they may watch videos you want them to watch, right? They may go to some religious place that you want them to go to, but will they experience that place in which the way you're experiencing it? But what do we end up doing? We end up wanting them to have the same experience, which is very immature actually. When I used to be younger and I became spiritual for the first time at I think 23, I was listening to all sorts of spiritual videos and reading all texts. I thought now everybody should become spiritual. So I would go and educate my grandmother, my aunt, my parents. I would just start educating them about spirituality. Whatever I learned, I would just tell them, no, it's like this is karma, and this is how it works, and all of that. This is the role of the divine. Why have we come here? Is this not understanding that my time had come to ask the question about why am I here? Maybe their time hadn't come, right? And of course it would have benefited them in some way or the other, but we become very focused on the outcome. Like, I also want them to learn this meditation, I also want them to do this, I also want them to follow these practices. You also change, your dietary habits because I have. No, that's just not how it works. It's your very individualized journey. And the more you progress on this path, the more you realize it is very unique to you. So at any point of time you're comparing your twin flame journey with somebody else's twin flame journey. No, it is a spiritual journey. You're walking alone. You can form communities of divine feminines and encourage each other and all of that. Those really help and those are very beneficial, and absolutely they are great. But never lose your own shine, or never start thinking that somebody knows better than me. Even if they may be a few steps ahead of me on the journey, even if spiritually they have ascended a little more, that's okay. Your ascension will be very unique to you, and it will be very individualized. Like I've mentioned before, even enlightened beings are not the same in the way they, in their soul fragrance. Everybody has a different soul fragrance. I mean, just I think I've given this comparison before, but in India we've had so many enlightened sages. Everybody had a different soul fragrance. Each and everyone just did something unique, did something different. What if they had decided that no, we will not do anything different, we will just try to follow this one path? No. So, this is the uniqueness and the flavorfulness that you carry in your soul. And don't get lost in other people's experiences of their twin flame journey, because sometimes, especially after that documentary has come out, there is a lot of negativity. There is a lot of this whole twin flames are a cult, and twin flames are this, and twin flames are a money making business. And but anyway, based on that documentary, based on the experience of that one, the what that one couple ended up doing, you know just based on that, there is a whole tendency to do this. There will be a lot of negativity. You will doubt your journey. You may start feeling shame about being a twin flame. Oh my God, I'm on this journey which everybody looks down upon. Everybody will think I'm a crazy person who panders to cults, or who is a lonely woman looking for love, as it was shown in the documentary, or something like that, right? You would basically, if it'll just throw you off your path, or somebody else will judge you, or somebody else will say things to you. I know I have been experiencing this on this channel as well, in the form of emails and sometimes some bad comments about this is a cult and don't promote this, or you're promoting extramarital affairs. Somebody also said that commented on a video which was not even about uh, it had no relationship with the comment. But there are just people who are hate mongers, like they would just love to sort of spread hate and just spread that, spew that venom that they have inside of them and bring people down and all of that. Or there will other, even before this documentary came out and before this became so like blatant, this hatred or whatever it is, the negativity, even before this, there will be people who will be on many, YouTube channels. You'll see people commenting about their negative twin flame experiences, or somebody, commenting about something completely discouraging for someone else, or somebody sharing on their own channels about the pain or the suffering of the twin flame journey or whatever. No, there is nothing wrong with it. It's just honest sharing. It's just what it is. But you have to be very thick skinned when you read all of this. Let this not shake your faith, because your journey really depends on faith and your journey really depends on trust. Why is that so? Because on your journey, you're not seeing changes happen in the physical right away. You are experiencing your divine masculine ghosting you, but you're also experiencing the presence of their higher self, which is completely different. It's forcing you to move out of the 3D and to trust your instinct, to trust your intuition, which will not make sense to the 3D person. Anybody who's not on the journey listening to this right now will call this absolute nonsense and will call this to be, like speaking of things which are not logical and all of that, But your journey is not logical. Then how are you on the journey? You're still here and you still want to have union with your twin, realize it in the physical as well, right? Uh, what is it predicated upon? What is this entire process predicated upon? It's just based on trust, the trust that you have in your journey. Where is this trust coming from? Every day there are signs shown to you. Every day there are synchronicities. You come across some messages which are meant for you. You see, various other things. Those are all things that you're seeing to build your trust, right? You see something magical, your magical abilities are growing. What would be called magical? Maybe your intuition, is growing stronger. Maybe you have clairs which are developing. You have very good telepathy with your twin. You can communicate with your spirit guides either through, oracle cards or through tarot, or just you receive them in your meditations, right? Or they show you so many signs that you just know, okay, this is what it is, right? So these things keep happening. Your past traumas are coming up. You can feel vibrations in your body which happen due to kundalini awakening. If you have experienced a kundalini awakening, you experience, movements in your chakras. Can you explain that to a doctor? Can you go to a doctor and say, I have movement in my sacral chakra? Oh, please see, I have a cooling sensation in my sacral, in this area, 2 inches below my navel. There is a cooling sensation happening. What will the doctor diagnose you with? The doctor will diagnose you with some neurological sensation based disorder, will put you on medicines to numb out your senses, or on very strong medicines, to change the electrolyte balance or with something of the sort, which could be causing these sensations to happen. But you don't have any such thing. So you understand that these are your experiences that are happening to you. Nobody else is telling you that this is your experience. You have to trust your experience. If there are many people who are against twin flames, or they're against twin flame union, or they don't trust or they can't trust people, or they want to spew venom against people who are just sharing their journey and their experience of healing and helping, or not even helping, like just sharing, I suppose, at one point of time, it's just like, I'm just sharing what I have to share. I hope that it helps, and I hope that others are also not struggling unnecessarily, because one has struggled in this and one doesn't want others to struggle in the same way. It's very natural, right? If you know the path to something, suppose you had a glass of water in maybe you were walking on a very hot road, and you were locating water, and then you found a place where you could get some water, and then you started walking back, and then you saw a very thirsty person looking for water. What would you do? Would you say, hey, would you just walk past, and would you just say, no, I can't deal with this, it's too much humanity? Or would you say, there's water right there, just take a right turn and you'll find water? Or would you let this person walk for 20, 30 more minutes before they chance upon their discovery of the same water, right? Some of you may even share the water that you're carrying in the water bottle, right? So it's so simple. This is exactly what you're doing. Why are you doing this? Because we are all human beings. We aren't disconnected from each other. I'm not disconnected from you. You're not disconnected from me. If we're in the same room, we're breathing the same air. What you're exhaling is what I'm inhaling. It's just so simple. We are just connected. But our ego bubbles make it seem like we are very separate from each other, right? So it's just out of that people share, people come, and they just tell you, like, hey, you know what, this has worked for me. I was also looping, and this is exactly what you can also start doing. You take the advice. If it works for you, you experiment with it, you see how it makes you feel. Maybe somebody else's advice in conjunction with this will work for you, or maybe this is just something you experience, and then you move on to something else. Maybe this was not for you, maybe this didn't resonate with you, maybe it resonated with 200 other people who listened, and didn't resonate with the 300 others who listened, which is fine. It resonated with 200, right? Which is good enough. Maybe right now we're not meant to take this information. Maybe at a later stage we might remember this, or this will pop up at the exact time that you need to see it, and your guides will show you. The point is that it's your individual journey. You can only listen, and you can only see what is making sense to you. But at the end of the day, um, the very important thing is you have to have trust in the journey, and you have to have trust in your very individualized capacity of spiritual awakening, your kundalini, when it will rise, how it will rise, what blocks are there for it to release across the chakras, what the connection is with your twin flame in terms of what are your collective wounds, what is your twin flame mirroring back to you, what are your external situations, whatever it is so individualized, it is so unique to you, that the path that you will follow, the life that you have led since childhood, probably even in other lives, that is going to, it's going to mold you, it's going to mold your journey, right? It's going to also maybe give you a purpose, because the pain becomes our purpose. If I speak a lot about healing, and subconscious healing and inner child wounds and all of that, it is because this was my painful area, and I learned that, oh, the pain that I went through, and then I healed it, taking a long, long time and exploring so many methods to do it. Um, it's just the pain that became the purpose. Now I'm able to speak about it. If I hadn't gone through this, then it would not become my purpose. Similarly, you would have gone through your very unique situations that would show you what you want to do, how, what you feel like sharing, if you want to share anything. So your path is so unique, and you have your own set of spirit guides who understand your uniqueness. They understand what you need at whatever moment, and they will guide you exactly based on that. They will not show you stuff that you're not ready for. They will not show you things that they know you can't right now accept. They will make you start small. All right. So when you are like this, the only thing that you can have faith in, the only person you can trust is you, your inner instinct. Everything else is just information. You just, shop for it, and you just see what you want to do. The dish that you're making is yours. You can have the ingredients from here and there. The dish will have your signature flavor, right? It will be unique to you, your recipe, how you make it, absolutely inimitable by anybody else. So don't get disheartened when you see other journeys on the twin flame journey. When you see other journeys being this way, or even if some journeys, they take like a very short time, or somebody just has this or has that, like we saw in the documentary or whatever. Doesn't mean your journey will be like that. No, it's your individual soul. No two lives are the same, right? Even two siblings in the same family live very different lives. Two identical twins go on to live different lives, right? So, what is the comparison about with your journey and X's journey and Y's journey? There is no comparison. Just have to have trust and have to have faith. You don't need to see other examples. It is you. If you are initiated on the journey, truly you are on the twin flame path. It is meant for you. Allow the awakening to happen. Just go slow. Take one step at a time. What is coming up for you right now? Just focus on that. What do you need in the next moment? That's all you need. Somebody else needed something completely different doesn't mean you need it, right? Sometimes, for instance, I've been doing my meditative practice since 2016, and that has been the practice that has helped me tremendously. So many different people may offer different kinds of, things for healing, and different modalities or different experiences. Or if I go attend, in the past, if I would go attend some workshop or something, they would try to teach some other meditation or something like that. And I would try to learn it, and I would try to think, okay, maybe I need to do this. But I always came back to what was already working for me, what I already knew, what I already relate with. You know, if I connect to divine in a certain way, in a very profound way, in a soul changing way, in a very deep way, why will I look for another kind of a God or another kind of a divine form if I already have what I have? So to trust what you also have, to trust, the connection you have already built with the divine, to trust your own faith or whatever it is, that has worked for you. You don't have to throw that away. You keep that with you on this journey. You keep that with you in your life. What has worked for you, what helps you, what grounds you, whom you trust. You keep that in your life, knowing it is your very unique journey. To somebody else, it may not make sense. If I start explaining my spiritual connections with my guru or with God or with, the divine forms I connect with, it may not make sense to somebody else listening right now. They will probably not, it will not make cultural sense to someone else. It may not make spiritual sense to someone else. Someone else may have taken an exception to this, right? But does that mean that I am supposed to follow that? No. I am just supposed to follow my instinct. I am just supposed to follow what I know in my heart to be right and what I know in my heart to be wrong, right? Am I supposed to look up to people unnecessarily? No. People are just people. I don't receive anything by looking up to them or trying to be like other people, trying to be like other divine feminines, trying to be like other people on the journey or anybody else. No, I just have to be like myself. Otherwise, again, I'm losing my authenticity. Sometimes I've seen that happen. Like, we can idolize people and we can say, I want to be like this person. No, you just be like yourself. Don't have to be a copy of anyone. You have your own uniqueness, your own beauty. And this is that journey about coming into your authentic power anyway. So, what is the point of trying to be like someone else? Just be like you. Being like you is where God rewards you. That is what you are meant to be doing. That is what brings your twin flame back into your life, allows them to be authentic because you're being authentic. It's very simple. So, the point of this is life will just throw you back upon yourself, and you have to trust yourself, love yourself, give yourself grace, and deeply accept yourself, deeply accept your childhood, your past, whatever has happened, your journey, your connection with your twin, your connection with the divine. Deeply accept that this is what my soul has chosen now. The old is not making sense to me. Some people resist, the journey because they want to go back to being the way they were earlier. Why? because you can't fit into that older mold anymore. It's like the skin, the snake which has shed its skin. Now it's saying, hey, I won't like go back to my old skin. No, you can't do that. It'll be uncomfortable in the new skin for some time. Everything will be sensitive and everything will feel very raw and very like too much. But then after a while that skin will become thick, right? And you will know what to do. So it's the same with you. You can't go back to being the old self. You can just trust yourself and know it's your very, very, very unique journey. No comparison to anyone else. Don't listen to anybody to get boggled, to get discouraged. Other divine feminines, maybe you have friends who are on the journey. They can be saying something about their twin flame. This has happened with me. Where somebody else says something completely different about their journey, someone else says something completely different. We meet so many divine feminines through our journey, right? But that doesn't mean anything. It's not for you to get confused about your journey. It's not for you to get sidetracked from your journey. It's just for you to have more faith, more trust in yourself. This is also an experience where I wasn't trusting myself. Now I need to trust myself. I have to trust what my guides are showing me. I know I'm not this limited physical form that I have been identified with all my life. And I'm uncertain about what is out there. And uncertainty can be very scary, uncertainty can be very unsettling. But do I have a choice? What do I do if I feel uncertain about the future? I surrender. I just go with the flow. The river also must be feeling very uncertain about the flow. It doesn't know what is happening next, what curve is coming next, where is the turn coming, but it just flows nonetheless, just trusting the flow. You're also a part of the universal flow, what is called the Tao, the universal flow, the universal wisdom. All you have to do is just trust. It'll land you somewhere. Just have to flow with it, right? So, this is all I wanted to speak about. I hope this helped you. You can book a one on one session if you want to with me. If you need any support, any guidance for your journey, my email address is imacompletelife@gmail.com. I'll see you soon. Have a beautiful day. Take care.